So this challenge is off. Here we go. All right, and I am black in the first game. I don't mind playing black in the first game. Now I'm going to try to draw his fire throughout this match, like I said. I will attempt to attack him if possible, but that's not going to be my default strategy. Because I know he's looking for the initiative. I could have played the Sicilian. It's possible I'll go to the Sicilian later this match. But I know he, at least it seems to me, he feels comfortable on the white side of the Sicilian in the open Sicilian. So I'm going to defer as far as that line goes for now. Biohazard donated $5. He said, just a little something for a coffee as a way of thanks for your video content and chessable.com. Such a fantastic resource that got me to join Team Scandy. Thank you, Biohazard. Yeah, and Team Scandy, we've got it right here. So this is the main line of this opening. Now, black usually does have to part with the bishop pair in this. So white playing h3 very soon. And white can even play it right now. So take, and then white would be on the b7 pawn. So I can't grab on d4 because the queen takes b7. Black is best advised to go c6. But if you play the Scandy, you actually get fairly used to giving up your light square bishop for the knight. It's not that big of a deal. It's quite common. So we're going to have this situation. All right, just told him good luck. Hopefully all his technical issues are taken care of at this point. He said good luck to you as well. This will be fun. Okay, bishop d3. Yep, all standard. Let's go knight bd7. So I think white is probably best off castling short in this line, but occasionally you see people castle long as well. It's not at all unheard of in this line. If he does castle long, I'm going to play bishop b4 and try to disrupt his pawn structure on the queen side, threaten to capture. Castling short, I'll play bishop d6 and then most likely castle short myself coming up. Chessbay says she has some iced coffee and some Altoids. All right. Getting into the spirit, Chessbay. I like it. Jay Lou says, eating food while watching JB is the best you could ever ask for. I think there are better things than that, but thank you, Jay Lou. So 10-second increment on these games. This is the only time control that we're playing with increment. Notice everything else is no increment. I love playing matches. They're so interesting, and that's one benefit of being a streamer, I guess. Prior to making YouTube and Twitch videos, I never played matches. I mean, there isn't really a format in over-the-board chess where a player like me is playing matches. I mean, you see it at the top level with stuff like the World Cup, of course, the World Championship. But for run-of-the-mill title players, you don't really play matches. You play open tournaments, occasionally closed tournaments with a small number of players, but never one-on-one matches. So streaming has allowed me to do that. Axiom Fox, wow, donated $100. He says, the Franklin Gambit, can you concentrate on your games when you just got $100? Peter, man, my man, thank you so much. That's a huge donation. Yeah, shout out to Peter, Axiom Fox. He's always in the chat with a ton of support. Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate that. I'll do my best in this match, and I'll try to concentrate. So Andras does go long. Now, I'm definitely looking to disrupt his pawn structure if I can. So usually people will move the knight at this point. Knight e4 or knight d2. Okay, he plays knight e4. So usually the prescription here is going to be to take and then play knight f6 and look for some queen d5 business. Just thinking if I want to do anything other than that, but I don't think so. I'm going to go for it. Let's see which way he recaptures. But either way he recaptures, this is a good option. Hey, Bruno Rolla. Yeah, that was a very generous donation there. What is the Franklin Gambit, though? Oh, I just got that. It's all about the Benjamins, the $100. The Ben Franklins. Okay. That's a nice one. I like that term. All right, he takes with the bishop. So, yeah, now knight f6. And, you know, he could sack on c6 and get 2 pawns for it, but that's not sound. I can bring the knight back to d7, and I think I'll succeed in keeping the position closed enough. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, if he moves the bishop back to d3, I get to do a very common idea in this line. I get to execute this motif, queen d5, which will threaten his queen and also the a2 pawn. And you know what? I think I had this exact position against Francisco Vallejo pawns in the Lichess titled arena recently. The very last game I played in the Lichess titled arena. I believe it went bishop d3, queen d5, and then he didn't trade queens. Vallejo played queen g3. I took on a2, which if you can envision that, it will threaten mate. Queen a1. He played c3, and then I think I played bishop f8, bringing the bishop back and guarding the g7 pawn. So that is one course of action, but to play that way, I mean, it's kind of risky for white. You're giving up a pawn, your king looks a little sketch. I wouldn't expect him to do that. I'd probably expect him to trade queens, but you never know. I mean, he also doesn't have to move this bishop either. Bishop g5 comes to mind if he wants to pin my knight, but I can move this back and unpin. He could just leave the bishop there, but even still, I might take and then play queen d5. I would love to get rid of his bishop pair. Structurally, black's doing fine, so yeah, getting the bishop pair off the board makes a lot of sense. What are people saying about Chess Bay? I'll have to check out your Instagram, Chess Bay, later. I didn't know you had an Instagram that just has blown up. Cherry Cars says, hey, John, could you do a video on the Dutch? You know, I'm not an expert on the Dutch. I definitely refer you to Simon. I have played against the Dutch, though, when I played Simon plenty of times. With mixed results, I would say. He's rolled me over. But I've got him a few times. Oh, it's not ChessBay's Instagram. Okay. It's for Emily Rajatowski. I've heard that name before. I don't quite know who she is, though. Okay, c4. Interesting. So grabbing space, mostly controlling the d5 square, I think is the optimal idea with that move. I have a line similar to this in my chessable repertoire, so I'm thinking obviously take and then probably castle. And you can try to force the issue in the center. With d5. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take on e4, but I just want to have my next move in mind. I mean, there's not a whole lot else that makes sense other than castling. I could play the bishop back to e7 or even queen e7, maybe. Queen e7 is actually interesting. Kind of holds up the d5 advance. Yeah, I have a line real similar to this in my chessable repertoire. All right, I know I'm going to take here, so let's do it. So candidate moves queen e7, bishop e7, or castles. And which one I'm going to choose depends on how big a threat I think d5 is. I could also consider this move, perhaps. Queen here, hit this pawn. Maybe with an eye towards playing queen f5. But if here a3, I don't think I want to sack. So I'm more inclined to look at those other moves that I mentioned. Queen e7 is interesting. And that even leaves open the option of castling queenside. I think my bishop on b4 could be pesky, where it eyes this square. And, you know, if a3, bishop a5, like, chasing with b4 is a big decision, because then he's going to be pretty weak for the rest of the game. His king will be exposed. So yeah, I guess I'm leaning towards queen e7 as it stands here. Queen e7, maybe he goes h4 or something. He could play d5 on queen e7, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I take on d5. He has to trade queens then. Yeah, that's very similar to the line I've mentioned in my chessable repertoire. I could take with a king even and then play rook f8. So let's... Another thing is if here's c5, I can probably just move my bishop back. I think that's fine, and then I'm in time to do this. Queen e7, bishop f4. I should have decent resources. I can even castle queenside there. Looks fine. All right, let's do it. Yeah, my username, the story behind that, you see listed in the chat. I was just listening to the Jimmy Buffett song Fins when I made it several years ago. There's nothing else to the story than that. And now it's one of those things, I don't feel particularly attached to Jimmy Buffett and his music. I think he's all right. But I feel completely tied to this username because everything is Fins that I have now. What can you do? Hey, P. Flynn. Happy Friday to you as well. So I'm mostly trying to discourage d5. My bishop is now defended too, so if there is a trade on d5, there's no longer any problem like that. Hey, it's Matt Wade here, 25 bits. He says, hey John, been watching for about 3 years and always enjoy your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Matt. It's a long time, 3 years. Almost as long as I've been making videos, I think. I think I started in 2015. Chessbase says, I wish you'd been listening to Cheeseburger in Paradise. Yeah. I would like to see Jimmy Buffett in concert. I feel like that would be a good time. Welcome, Always Beast. Someone says they miss 3 videos per day. Yeah, I can't believe I used to do that. It's hard to believe at this point, but yep, when I started my channel, I was releasing a bullet video, a blitz video, and a standard video every single day. And I don't know how long I did that for. At least 3 months, though, probably something like that. It was grueling, but it was also a lot of fun. Yeah. That's exactly right, Neil the Seal. The 0905, my birthday is September 5th. Okay, h4. Yeah, I thought that was a possible candidate move. So he gains a little space on the king side. He also enables bishop g5, perhaps. So he might be looking to attack me like that. Also, I wouldn't be surprised to see rook h3. It's another motif here. So I'm slightly inclined to castle queenside versus kingside because he is advancing on this wing. If I castle kingside and he plays h5, then I have to decide if I want to play h6. It's a little bit weakening. That's probably okay, but it feels a bit better here to castle queenside. Still, though, I think that rook h3 move is a little pesky. Probably need to get the bishop back in the action. I guess I can play bishop d6 right away if he does that. Yeah, bishop d6 should be fine. So let's say castles, rook h3, bishop d6. I think that position's looking okay. I got to watch out for d5 and a7 stuff, but shouldn't be a big deal. If he ever plays bishop g5, I will have to play f6, but I feel like that's not that weakening. I mean, he also has a slightly tender point on d4, so I think I can live with that. Yeah. Let's cackle. Cackle long. Hey, Just Average Skills. Potzer to Master says, Christoph used to have an insane release schedule as well. That's true. Yep. Yeah, Christoph was my inspiration for the 3 videos per day thing because that's what he was doing. Blitz videos, that is, but still. And he was doing that for a very long time. Years and years. I mean, Christoph has probably 4,000 plus videos on YouTube. Same with King's Crusher. All right, so I have a slight time advantage here. I think my position's fine. He might be slightly better here. He has a space edge, but you're kind of used to that when you play the Scandi. Luke57 shared 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. He says, hello, John. If you have the chance, play the Con. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, Con's a good idea. I was considering doing that. All right, so here I got to go F6, and I bet he's going to play the bishop here. He does. Okay, so he's induced this weakness. Maybe his plan is to try to get me to bring my bishop back here so he can put a rook on E1. Understandable. But I'm not sure I'm even worried about that. So bishop here, let's say rook E1. I can even think about F5 then. Nah, F5 he takes on D6 perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking if this rook does go to E1, he might have to watch this pawn in some lines. I also have to watch this pawn with his queen on E4. Bishop D6 feels correct here. Yeah, I think on that rook E1 thing, I could even just trade and play, for instance, queen F7, I think is looking okay. It's a bit of pressure, but yeah, he's got some weaknesses too, so let's go ahead and do that. Try to keep this time edge. Hey, Jorian Ray, thank you so much. Dead Merit says, my sister Emily loves you, John. She's watching right now. Well, hello, Emily. Thank you for the support. Okay, there we have it. Rook E1. So, do I trade the bishops, or do I think about that F5 move I was mentioning? F5 is kind of tempting to try to prove that his last move was a mistake, but I think on F5 he's going to take on D6. He's going to insert that capture, hitting my queen. And then, I might be left with this long-term weakness. So F5 feels, although tactically desirable, strategically suspect because of this. So again, I'm leaning towards taking. I might even take and then play queen B4. I'm just noticing that that is an option too. Then I'm hitting C4. Also, there could be some rook takes D4 business in the air. My queen is a little far away from my queenside pawns. Or my kingside pawns, I mean. Still, though, I like the look of that at face value here. Take queen B4. You could just play B3, I suppose. I have a check, but nothing else. Yeah, queen B4, B3 is probably just fine for him. I'd like to get in that rook takes D4 shot, but not working yet. The original thing I was mentioning was take queen F7. Just unpin. Keep my queen defending this and maybe looking for E5 in the future. Okay, let's take the start. So now I'm just debating. Maybe this is better than I thought, though, because if I can get him to play B3, that is a slight weakening around his king. Stuff like A5, A4 becomes more of an option later. But I'm just a little bit worried about allowing queen g4 down the line. Queen b4, b3, let's say rook he8. Queen g4. That's a little annoying. The immediate rook he8 is probably flexible here. I could definitely think about that. Just not reveal anything about where my queen's going to go. I think I'm going to go for that and hold off on queen f7 unless I see something again with this, but I'm just not seeing what to do after b3. Nothing's like truly jumping out there. And if this d5, I think I can take and then give a check on c5. Ooh, then king b1 though. Okay, So if here d5, maybe e5, but then he checks and h7 is loose. I probably take first. Take first and then play e5. That's the way to do it. Again, he has that check on f5, and he could try to go after h7. That gets to a messy position. Looking at that line again. I think I'm going to go for that, actually. Because I think he might have some problems with his king towards the end, whereas my king will be tucked away on b8. He'll have to waste time at some point playing king b1. So yeah, let's just centralize, stay flexible, keep open both these options, even stuff like queen c7 offering a trade. But I think I need this better guarded. But I think the critical move here is d5. I just think after take, and then probably e5, I believe queen f5 check, king b8, queen takes h7, queen c5 check, king b1, queen takes f2, he takes on g7. Then I was looking at either rook g8 or rook here. One of those two moves. Granted, I'm still down a pawn, but sort of feels like I have enough counterplay, especially if I can get my rook and queen coordinated on the second rank. Bird Potzer says, John, sacrificing 3 minutes for adrenaline. Yeah, I didn't mean to think that long, but I think this is starting to get into critical territory for both of us, especially with this move. The Grishuk strategy, that's right. d5 will be very interesting if he plays that. Thing about that move is it's not clear like who's attacking in that variation I just mentioned. It's not immediately obvious to me. Okay, he doesn't go for it. He's not going to risk it. Understandable. Okay, so again, I'm drawn to this move. I mean, I think he can just play b3 if he wants against that, but something about that still looks pretty tempting. I think the clear idea is he's getting ready for that when he plays that. I could also play queen d6 here. Queen g4 is a little annoying. E5 right away, probably premature. I'm kind of pinned here. So nothing really working there. What if I go here, here, a5? Let's just say. Probably queen g4. Yeah, queen g4. Queen trade would be nice here. So again, I'm looking at queen c7, but he's going to go here and probably induce me to play f5. And I'm not completely sure how I feel about that. Let's say queen here, f5, queen g5, something like that. Yeah, it's okay though. King b8, something along those lines. Always beast. Thanks for the 2 bits. All right. Taking a lot of time here, so it's probably going to be decision time too. I'm also looking at that, but he has d5. I mean, what about queen here, b3, then c5? I could consider that line of play too. It's a bit more forcing. Also queen here, queen d7. Makes sense. Okay, I'm going to do this one. This queen is pretty annoying on f4, so give myself that option in the future. I need to tie him down to the weakness on d4 too. I can't let him forget about that. So I'm thinking here, I probably won't play f5 yet. I think I'll play queen d7. I would expect something like h5 at that point. I can look at e5 there. Some trade of queens that might be slightly worse in that endgame. Henry says play faster. Yeah, I think I'm going to go queen d7. Queen d7 if he plays queen g4. Queen g4, queen d7, h5, maybe just h6 also. Don't think he'll trade queens. I think he's going to try to keep some sort of pressure here. If he keeps his queen on the 4th rank, it's easier for him to eventually play this with his queen defending that pawn. So, you know, these moves definitely come to mind for him. Queen e4 is interesting, by the way, too. Trying to get me to play g6 or h6 in that fashion. I'd say it looks less natural than queen g4 because, you know, usually when you're attacking one of your opponent's pawns, you want your major pieces to line up in order of value. So yeah, he plays queen g4. F5. Wasn't really feeling it, so let's do this one. And I think he's just going to try to probe here. H5. Probably doesn't want to play king b1 anymore because an endgame could be approaching if I play e5, so he probably wants his king a little bit closer to the center. I definitely predict h5. Thanks, one. We're only on move 21, both of us under 5 minutes. Think about just sitting tight after h5, maybe just h6. Arguably, I don't even have to move these pawns, but I don't want to think about him playing h6 in the future and busting up my structure, you know, maybe having that pawn survive in the endgame. Yeah, so he does that. Yeah, let's just do this. Make him think as well. I can still play e5 in the future. If he plays rook g3, I'll just go rook e7. Just a helpful move. I think my next move is going to be rook e7. Like, let's say he plays something, some sort of improving move here. I don't know. Let's say he plays a3. I'll go rook e7 with the idea of e5. And then if the trade of queens happens, I can take with that rook and I can pin him down this file. That's what I'm going to go for. Yeah, so he plays b3. Just an improving move. Let's throw the move back at him. Okay, so now I can play that e5 move I mentioned. I do like the look of it. And I wonder if he's overlooked it. I mean, I don't think it's going to win. It might not. It probably won't even win a pawn, but it's a good way to trade queens under favorable circumstances, I think. And if he goes back like queen e2 or something, I have a check here, perhaps. Yeah, let's do it. So that's the big idea. Always Beast says, John, you can do this. Thank you, Always Beast. People are talking about my bank shot in that announcement video. So what do I think he'll do here? I don't think he'll trade queens. I was pre-moving that, but I don't think he's going to do it. Because that actually does seem to lose a pawn. I think f3 comes to mind in this position. But actually then, I was about to say f5. Maybe f5 doesn't work. Maybe on f3 I just trade and then play the rook over myself. Right? Like just bring the rook over and pin. Nothing has really changed. Yeah, he's got some difficulties here all of a sudden due to this e5 resource. Neil says, getting tense. Yes, I got to pay attention here. These are how games can be won and lost, though, at the higher levels, when it's pretty even the whole way, and suddenly there's like an abrupt change in the play. It becomes dynamic, people get low on time. A lot of games are eked out that way, so I'm definitely looking to strike here with this first black game, if I get the chance. You know, Andras is great. He's excellent in these fast time controls, but still, like, there's problems to solve, and he's going to be under a minute soon. Maybe rook here. But then, like, he's got to figure out what to do with f5, followed by takes. It's not pleasant. Yeah, he goes back. Okay, so here's where I was saying f5. Followed probably by bringing the rook over. And just hammer him down that file. This is not working. He's got that covered. So yeah, let's go check. Let's see where he puts the king first and foremost. Now probably this. Yeah, and I bet he's going to play d5. He does. right, so can I pick up this pawn? It's got weaknesses, but that pawn is not lost yet. Take first or not? I can't win it yet because he has that check on c4 at the very end. So probably I'm going to sidestep. Take and then sidestep. Yeah, let's do that. I need my king off this file. Yeah, and not only does he have this weakness to constantly worry about, but these two as well. Like, that's annoying for him. He can't just play moves like this. Can play g4. G4 is definitely a candidate here. My queen has access to these squares. G5, I mean, not the most ideal square, but still attacking. Also, queen f4 is interesting. Queen f4, maybe try to come back here. Okay, he does go for that. Queen f4 here, here. I'm a little worried about rook f3, queen f3 rather. Maybe it's nothing for him, but because if I go here, he might go here and stabilize. So this. Yeah, actually, maybe. There. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm going to do it. We're coming in. I'm well aware my queen is behind enemy lines and sometimes is subject to being trapped in a situation like this, but let's see how he does that effectively. So, okay, so he's allowing me to take if I want. Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, I can also play rook c7. Or maybe even queen here. But I don't really see anything wrong with taking either. Take. If queen c4, I've got check, so I've got rook back to d8. Should be fine. If he plays rook c4, I can play rook back to d8. Also should be fine. Let's do it. He's going to do that. Yeah, and now when I think he's going to try to get the rook into c7. So here, rook c7. And I was trying to calculate what happens after e4 in that case. Like e4, e3 even. All right, well, let's bring it back to start. Now, e4, e3 doesn't work. There's other stuff, though. Like I can use the c file, maybe. Queen coming to e5. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to play this because this looks like the move that you'd want to try in time pressure. Just not clear if it works tactically. Love to play e3, but it doesn't work yet. Maybe just a6. Or queen e5 and then a6. Let's play queen e5 first. Just centralize. It's really tough to say what's happening here. The position is suddenly pretty sharp with limited material. Yeah, I think that's correct. I just feel like I almost need this move. This queen has to monitor this square. Not sure I really want to play rook c8. I could have done that on the last move, like rook c8 or e3 and then rook c8, but I wasn't sure. I think he's going to play something like this or rook f7. Queen c4. Wow. Aggressive. So he's daring me to check him, which I actually might do. Check and then queen d6. How does he respond to that? It's queen c7. Okay, I'm going to try it. I think he has to play queen c7 here. Why that move? Queen there. Huh. Seems very dangerous. Okay. Tricky business here, guys. Definitely feel like my king is safer, though. He wanted queen e3 check, is why he did that. So he retreats. Okay, let's give a check to start. I think this should be strong. Simply threaten to take. I don't think he can take here. Yeah, I think that's mate if he does. So he's going on the retreat. And now for d2 I have check. Just making sure that that wins somehow. Maybe it doesn't quite yet. Okay, let's check first though. I have f2. f2 is very interesting. Queen endgame looks winning at first sight, but I'm not sure. I think this is better. I'm going to do that. Because now he has to play rook takes f2. Which is very passive. Of course. Ooh, maybe he doesn't. Okay. In this case, let's get the king up a little bit. Watch that time though, John. Could have taken on g4 too, but I think this is better. Just a useful move. He's in a near Zugzwang here, basically. Let's pull this back now. I'm gonna have to bring my queen around. I want to make him play queen f1. Is a check here now, but I just go here. And I think that's going to do it. So do this now. King d1 is forced, I think. But he's going to be... Oh, he still has resources. I take here, though. Yeah, that should do it. Take on b3 of king d1. This is so tricky. Got to stop that check now. Okay, but finally I think this works. Because I'm guarding a5. Very important. I'm also going to be guarding b5 when I queen my next pawn. You resign. Okay. That was an intense game. Yeah, turning point when he played... Or he allowed me to play e5. In this position. I think he missed that idea or underestimated it. So he probably should have taken some sort of precaution against that, like maybe move his queen. But yeah, I always had this nagging pressure after this. Queen went behind enemy lines. He put up good defense, though. He came up with some tricky defensive ideas, like this whole rook c4, rook c7, rook takes g7. You know, this is a tough position to play in time pressure for both sides, but especially for him because he's kind of on the defensive. I feel like right around here, though, he might have something better because a6, it's not the move I want to play. I want to play something more direct, but yeah, like allowing rook d1 looked very risky. Oh, there was queen c7, though. I suspect he overlooked this, but he could try this move. Force me to trade, and then the rooks are both attacking each other. I couldn't assess this, what was going on. I thought maybe I could actually go into the pawn endgame and try to win this, but I'm not 100% sure. Actually, it should be a win because I think he's going to lose his h5 pawn eventually. Like, let's say f3, trade here, trade, and I'm much closer to his pawn. I can try to take it. Okay, we've got some donations here. Belgian Novice, cheered 250 bits. He said, first game on the books, Scandy for the win. Yep. Ecstatic Broccoli, thank you for the resubscription 3 months in a row. It's more than a feeling. Let's go, John. Chessbay, 1,000 bits. Says, great game. Thank you, Chessbay. And Aze1 cheered 100 bits. Congrats on the first win. What a game. Yeah, that was a real interesting one, guys. I'm going to tell him... Just going to run to the bathroom real quick. And we'll get game 2 going in just a second. Paul Atreides, thank you for the subscription. Be right back, guys. Alright guys, game 2 on the way here. I'm turning my fan on. It's scorching hot here today. It's like 90 degrees when I made that video. So Andros, I'm ready. At the end of this game, there was some tricky stuff with the perpetual. So, like, he was constantly threatening perpetual checks. That's why I was doing that funny stuff with my king. Here I was just trying to run him out of moves. It's very possible I missed some easier way to win this, but I didn't see it. In time pressure, like maybe I can check him and somehow win the G-pawn or something. But hardly had any time, so I was just trying to run him out of moves. But you notice, like here, for instance, Queen D1, he is threatening a check down here. So if I play Queen E1 check, I am guarding the A5 pawn, but he has all these checks that he can give, and this is actually just a perpetual, I think. So I don't want to blunder into that. Let's see. Where's the rematch? Here we go. Okay, game 2. Always Beast. Thank you for the 2 bits. Let's open with D4. Now, I think Andras plays Knight F6 followed by G6, like almost exclusively. I could play a Tory. I could play Knight C3. I could play C4. I think I'm going to go with the Tory. He's probably expecting it if he's watched my videos recently, but you can't really prepare for this opening. So, I mean, you can, but let's just see how he handles it. I feel pretty comfortable in these positions. He's going for a quick C5. Interesting. Quick C5. I think C3 would be my usual reaction here. I'm going to do that. I can also try to take that, but it seems premature. It's better to try to take on C5 when you've already played C3, so you might have B4 in some cases. Someone says, play the kid. You mean play into the kid. I mean, matches are all about taking into account your opponent's style and the types of positions they like to play. And I think he enjoys sharp positions, attacking positions, positions where there's a lot of uncertainty for both sides, and you know, I want to try to deny him those. Okay, so Knight C6. Could just castle. I could also take on C5, but I think castling is better right away. Infinite asks, why Bishop E2 over Bishop D3? Yeah, both are playable. Usually Bishop D3, though, ensures you're not going to get hit by forks in the future. So that's why I slightly prefer that. Okay, now, I feel like I've seen a game in this exact position. I really feel like I've seen one. Something like take, Rook F D1 is screaming. I don't want to take on B7 because he does have that, but yeah, something like take, Rook F D1. Or start with Rook F D1. I can do that too. That might be even more precise. You know, there's also the fact that this pawn could be captured, but he always takes on B2 at the end of that line, so I think I'm going to do this. And if C4, usually you play Queen A3 in these positions. So yeah, let's do this. A lot of tense maneuvering that can happen here. Okay, so I got to put the score up on the scoreboard. 1 game in the books. Game 2 here. After this game, the match is going to become rapid fire because we get into the blitz portion. No increment blitz, so it's going to come real fast. So I'm keeping the tension with this. I'm keeping all of these options on the table. Now, usually if they take here, you want to take with a pawn, is the thing. If he takes here, I think I will take on B6 first and then take back. Not sure exactly which way, but probably with the E pawn. just find these positions a little tougher to handle with black compared to white. Have I ever played Andras before the match? You know, if I played him, it's probably been on Lee Chess in some sort of titled arena, or not titled arena, just any old arena in the past, but I don't remember playing him, no. Gondon says, Andras is complimenting you on your rock-solid style. Yeah, I aim to frustrate my opponents most of the time. Thanks, Flotakash. Good to see you here. Normal would be a rook move. Okay, he's going to play the pawn up. Interesting. So yeah, queen a3 is what I was describing. That's usually what you want to do here. Your queen is a little strangely placed, but I think it's fine, so let's do it. And then look to play b3 after that. Undermine. Also peering at the e7 pawn. I actually wonder what would happen here if he played queen d8 with the idea of b3, b5. Probably that favors me after takes. Again, my queen might be useful on the a file. Hey, Dayon 9000. Hope you had a good time at the chess club today. Doing well on the clock here through 11 moves. 10.5 technically. Someone says his bishop on f5 occupies a strong diagonal. Yes, it does. But it is sort of shooting into the void too. But yeah, undeniably, I can't use these squares. I can think about knight h4 in the future. But mostly I'm just looking to undermine in the near future, though. I want to play b3. And when he takes, probably take with a pawn. I had a game in one of the Chess.com Arena Kings tournaments, I think from Wednesday, the Blitz event, against Artak Manukian, Armenian player, and we had a structure just like that. Except I don't think he was fianchetted on the king side, but b3, take. And white has one long, uninterrupted pawn chain there, but black stays pretty solid too. Okay, rook e8, so this has not only e5, but also this in mind with the discovery on my queen, so I definitely have to take that into account. Ecstatic Broccoli, 100 bits. I think I'm going to play b3 here, but just thinking for a second. Yeah, let's play b3. Ecstatic Broccoli says, can you please put your Arena King tournaments on YouTube? Yeah, I will consider doing that. I haven't been doing that, but I'll definitely consider it. Okay, takes. So this is where I have a choice. Queen takes or pawn takes. I mean, even knight takes, somewhat tempting. Usually you take with the pawn. I'm just pondering like what happens if he goes for this e5 plan. Queen takes is actually pretty tempting in this case. I think I kind of like queen takes. Some concrete ideas in mind, like queen takes, you know, now I'm in a better position to threaten this. Not immediately, though. I'm not sure. I think I will take with the queen. Yeah. Let's take with the queen. Jacob Forza, thanks for the 500 bits. Says, invite Andrew Tang over for a stream sometime. Yeah, Andrew does live pretty close to me here, like 20 minutes away. That is possible at some point. 120 says, hey John, any tips on how to flirt with my local barista? Chess pawns about forking and skewering don't seem to work. Yeah, I would not recommend going for anything chess related, at least overtly. Not that you have to hide the fact that you're a chess player by any means, but chess pickup lines, not a good idea. Pickup lines in general, not a good idea. Chess Bay. Yeah, Andrew's kind of the Anthony Davis of the chess scene. Thanks, Faith Trekker. So plenty of time here, but yeah, I'm taking with the queen because I'm just a little worried if I took with a pawn that his queen would be better off than mine. I was extolling the virtues of that uninterrupted pawn chain, but I think this also gives him some problems. If he moves the queen, then I've got better scope here. Like queen c7, bishop f4, for instance, frustrates his e5 attempts. He's got to watch d7. Yeah, b7 is just a serious weakness in a lot of lines. If he takes here, I think then I will take with the pawn. And I think the queen trade has benefited me slightly. I'm thinking takes, pawn takes, e5, maybe bishop b5 and pin the knight. Looks kind of nice. Some pressure. I mean, Andras's main plan is definitely e5, but I think he's just weighing whether he wants to risk it. And I don't think he can do it right away. Unless after bishop takes, he's planning to play queen takes b3, like insert that move, which he very well could. That is an option. But sometimes his d5 pawn might just end up being weak if he commits to e5 and there's some sort of trade, either me taking him or even him taking me and me just recapturing. He might weaken my structure slightly in the process of doing that, but I think he's weighing whether he wants this to be an isolated pawn going forward. Okay, he takes. So bishop or knight? I said it, or sorry, not bishop. I definitely can't use a bishop to recapture. Pawn or knight? Again, pawn was my first instinct, but just seeing, like, is there anything with this? Nah, there's knight e4 if that happens, so let's stay with the pawn. Once you notice a move like knight e4, you're like, okay, I'm not going to go for that. All right, so here, bishop b5. Bishop b5 or something else? Pawn b4, perhaps? b4, b5. Could be looking to play e4, but I might get a knight h4. I might get knight e5 in. I'm not thinking about taking here anymore because I can't win the d5 pawn after I do. I can certainly just take this pawn, by the way. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just give him this weakness in the most direct way. But I feel like he'll get some counterplay on this long diagonal sooner or later. Might play knight e4 if I take. That'd be a pretty reasonable reaction. Interesting decision here. Definitely sort of drawn to bishop b5, but I feel like there's some accurate move order here that might really reveal some weakness in this position. So it's really between bishop b5 and taking, I think, at this point. Looking at some lines like if bishop b5, e4, knight e5, let's say rook c8, I take, and I play my rook into a6, and that's real nasty for him because he can't play c5 due to f6 hanging. So that would just be really pretty gross for him to defend. Yeah, I think I like this move. I'm going to do it. Then my bishop's not a target on this file either. I keep these two pawns connected against his bishop on g7, which is really striving to get out. He plays knight d7 right away. Okay. So again, some options here. Don't really want to take. I have that in reserve whenever I want. Taking here, certainly playable. Maybe I take it with this knight if I'm going to take it. Although then, actually, maybe I take with a pawn. Maybe pawn takes. Pawn takes, he's going to take with this knight. Otherwise, he is ready to play e4 under better circumstances. This knight e5 move is not going to be as strong. Yeah, let's take with the pawn. And expecting knight d takes. And then my candidates will be takes or maybe knight d4, but probably takes. Probably capture on e5. Yes, I won the first game admin chess. So if takes here, what's going on? Maybe bishop d6 then. Looking for bishop a3. Don't think that's anything major to worry about, though. Nah. Yeah, let's just take. He could take with the rook, but that seems way less natural than taking with the bishop. So he does take with the bishop, and let's bring this over here. Defend the weakness, defend the undefended pawn. All right, so how to assess this position? I've got 2 pawn islands. He has 3 pawn islands. I hope that this is weak. That's my main thing I'm going to be attacking. Looking for knight f3 with the discovery here. Might start with a6. a6 looks pretty logical here. That way, if I take, I'm repairing his structure, so I probably won't do that. I'll probably play the bishop back to one of these squares. It's a small edge, what I'm looking for here, but it might be something. It might be a little something. My bishop on g5 is a little annoying for him. He can't put a rook on d8. He also can't play h6. I would just take it. f6, somewhat weakening. I just drop back here if he does that. I think I'm slightly better here. I would say a6 and bishop d6 are the most likely candidates for him. And bishop d6 is interesting to play e4, looking to rip open this diagonal. But this is a clever rearrangement of the bishop, trying to work in like that. So here I'll look at e4, I'll also look at b4, just blocking the bishop. But then he has a5, so I'm not sure how great that is. $120 says, white bishops are lovely. Yeah, they're nicely placed. They are undefended, though. Both of us are doing better managing our time this game. Let's move 18. Okay, he does play a6. So bishop e2 or bishop f1. Those moves look pretty equivalent in value. The only thing, I mean, bishop e2 would normally be the desirable move, I'd say. Keep open that option. The only thing I don't want to have happen is if I run into problems on this diagonal because of that move. which actually could happen if he plays bishop d6. So maybe I should play bishop f1, huh? I can't consider this because he plays b5. And this sort of plan, taking in b4, knight b3, looks too risky because he can play a5 right away. And kind of break the bind on the position. So bishop e2, bishop d6. Yeah, and then if I play something like b4, he can go d4. I do have knight c4, though, in that position. Knight c4 is very handy, isn't it? Even still, maybe he just moves the bishop. Maybe bishop e2, bishop f1. The idea of bishop d6, b4. Maybe that's slightly better. b4, a5, b5. Knight e5. Yeah, and again, there's the e4 idea. So bishop f1, bishop d6, e4 for sure comes to mind. That might just be the better choice. Okay, I'm going to go to f1. It's kind of a tough call, but I feel like this is better in view of the d5 of the e-file stuff. Two people have typed in the chat, always play bishop f1. You guys are Ben Feingold viewers, I can see. So it doesn't look like much. It doesn't look like much. But he's a little bit restrained by these pawns. Even though they are kind of passive, they're sitting on the 3rd rank. He has a pawn on the 5th rank. I think that this could be a target in the future. And again, my bishop on g5 prevents him from playing a natural move to defend this pawn. So I think still some minor issues for him. He'd love to get a passed a pawn. I mean, that long term would be the best thing to do, but it's not simple. And I don't think he really wants to go passive. So assuming my next move is knight f3, I don't think he wants to put his bishop on e6 and just allow me to maneuver with this big pawn here. Put the knight on d4, might have a little something still. Although he's probably okay even in that line. Oro says f3 and get a deranged hedgehog. That would not be a wise hedgehog. Got to be able to control your pawn weaknesses in a hedgehog, and I don't want to make a weak e3 pawn. Thanks again to all the viewers. 381 of you guys. This is a dual commentary match against International Master Andras Toth. He's also streaming right now. You can go check out his stream. It's, I believe, IM_Andras on Twitch. So, the second of the standard games. This is a big game. Every big game, all the games do count the same, but I'd like to come out of this with a 1.5 or ideally 2 points. Okay, so he just plays a restrained move here. Rook c8. So my immediate question is, what's he going to do against this move? Because I'd like to win the bishop, target his pawn on d5. I don't really see too many other candidate moves for me, to be honest, so I think that's the immediate question. Is he going to go knight a5? That doesn't seem right. Maybe, though. Here, knight a5. And if I take here, he takes on b3. Nah, that can't be right, though. You know, though, it's actually kind of hard to defend that b3 pawn. I can't really do it effectively. So knight here, knight here. If it wasn't for knight a5, I think I would have played knight f3 by now. So let's say I take, he takes. I don't know, bishop f4 maybe. Rook back to e8. If I take, he takes. Drives this rook away and he wins this pawn. And I'd like to say he has back rank problems there, but I don't think he does. Interesting line right there. Could that be what he's gunning for? I mean, rook c8 suggests that he's going after this c3 pawn somehow. So that would make sense. Just kind of a far-fetched line. It doesn't look like it should work. Yeah, but maybe. I don't want this knight getting active. I mean, I could play b4 myself right now. That certainly comes into consideration. But then I feel like I'm a half move slow if I do that. This is where having the bishop on e2 might be handy because of g4. Looking at several lines, but I'm just not really seeing anything happening with that variation I just mentioned. And I gotta watch my time a little bit too. Really don't like playing b4 here, but maybe it's the best move. Might just be the thing to do in this position. I'm starting to think it is. All right, hey. Gotta respect the rook c8 move. I'm gonna do it. So, you know, he can try to go after this pawn. But I'm still looking to play knight f3 and then maybe take on d5. Or maybe knight b3 now. But concretely, I might have some trouble with this, huh? Yeah, I don't know if I made the best decision right there, guys. I think he can just move this knight, like knight a7, for instance. And then how do I defend this? Because I'm just noticing now with b4, there's bishop b2. He can still get at that. Yeah, not a smart decision by me. Maybe c4, bishop b2, c5. Try to play for compensation on the dark squares, but that doesn't look right either. So I'm trying to brainstorm some way out of this. Okay, thankfully for me, he didn't play that. We'll have to look at the tape later. Go back, look at the tape. So I think that was just strong for him. So knight f3 or knight b3, which one? Probably doesn't matter too much. Let's do this one. Gives me a couple more options. like this. Okay, approaching time pressure for both of us. I was just saying how we were doing better than the last game, but it seems like we're not doing much better after that long think I just had. But alright, I'm very happy to get this move in, because that means I can always plant this knight on d4 if I want to, and block his dark square bishop. That was the main piece I was worried about. Him using his bishop and his rook to attack c3. Now note here, I'm not exactly threatening this due to bishop e6. That was the downside of putting the knight on b3. So you could make an argument for knight f3 in that case, but I do like the knight here instead, because I think knight c5 could be a very legitimate move attacking these guys. Yeah, it's kind of a battle of which weakness is greater. Maybe they cancel each other out, but I still think, given his last move, I still think I'm slightly for choice. I wonder if he'll try to sacrifice this a6 pawn if I try to get my knight in. That's definitely possible for him. He could do something like this, b6, make me take, but then my knight is kind of sidelined, and perhaps he can look for a counterattack down the c-file, but he has to hash out how that would work. Bishop here is playable, I suppose, because again, if I take, there's bishop e6, but I think I can just play rook d2, or even f3. Probably rook d2. Tinan says, both players uneasy about this position. Okay, Andras must be uneasy as well, so that makes me feel good. And I do have a small time advantage now. Only 1 minute, but that's significant when we're both this low. I don't really want to play c4 because of this bishop b2 move. I got to worry about that bishop slicing in. If it gets to b2, this rook is trapped. Also, c4 would offer to trade for his weakness, and I don't know if I want to do that. I think on my next move, I'm just going to play this. I don't think I'll go to d4. I think going to c5 is better if given the choice. There's just a lot of stuff I'm not quite sure about. I mean, if knight c5, he might even have knight a5 business there, because my pawn would be defending my knight, but it's loose for both sides. I don't really know. And if my knight does jump here, I am ready to play that move. Plays knight back to d8. Interesting. So that is a pawn sack, because now I can actually take here. And I'm on his knight. Oh, but okay, he can play knight e6 then, I guess, is maybe his point. He's going to go after c3 eventually. Uh-huh. That could be a good move. I could take that knight, but then he gets to do that. His pawn's protected. Interesting retreat here. Very interesting. In a tight one here, folks, once again. Knight d4 is a very safe move. Just blocking his play against the c3 pawn. So rook takes d5, knight e6 looks to solve all his issues, I think. Yeah, once he gets that up there with the gain of time. And this here. Just plays rook c7, I think. I mean, there's e4 stuff, maybe. Maybe I can play e4 there. Somehow I see that fizzling out if I do that. Ooh, but the time is getting low. You can also take with the other rook if I play that way, and then maybe bishop back to c8, for instance. All right, I'm going to play the solid move. That's a decision driven by the time. There might have been something better there, but I don't know. He's ready to put this here, and I just want everything protected when he does. He plays it right away. So if I take, he takes here, I have knight d6. So he's going to take back, I guess, and try to play the position dynamically. Interesting. Again. Okay, we're going back. Get the bishop out of attack. That's a necessary move. Now, if he takes, I'm just going to recapture, of course. And still, like, try to cling to this slightly better structure, but I'm a long ways from being able to attack this pawn effectively. I know, people are going crazy about the time. I know, guys. I know this is agonizing for you guys. Okay. So he's targeting that pawn. I think I pretty much have to play this move. I think he's going to play a5. Yep. All right. So now he's got this a pawn. I played that move to disconnect this. Also makes way for bishop b5 and maybe rook c7 in the future. This is quite complicated. I feel like I definitely need my bishop here, though, now, where it can kind of influence this diagonal. I got to rely on these counterattacking moves, maybe this rook over to a1 at some stage. I got to worry about my back rank later on. I don't want to run afoul of back rank tricks. Goes bishop b4. Okay. So bishop b5. Bishop b5, I think he's going to trade everything off. But maybe I'm okay with that. But I like my bishop there. Keeps an eye on his a-pawn. That's the main reason behind this move. Ooh, that move I didn't see. I did not see that one, guys. I can defend it, though. Which I'm going to do, because I don't have hardly any time. Now, I wonder if his rook is actually a liability there. Yeah, I got a bit lucky that I had bishop d8. Because now, like, this seems awkward. There's bishop d7 he's got to figure out in the future. I can anchor this bishop here. That's probably what I'll do next. Brakes are put on this guy. h3 looks useful. Plays h5. Okay, I'm just going to play h3 for now. Take our time here. Some cool, like, bishop c6 ideas. Let's do this first, though. Just looking for this, but yeah, now this move is on. How about that? Ooh, so if here, Rook F6, he's claiming. Bishop C6 is really nice. But maybe I play Bishop D7 first. Okay, let's do it. This is interesting. It's pretty forcing, too. I think he's got to give the exchange now. He's got to take, push, and then Rook E8. But then I can even take on C6 first. I don't have to let him keep the C6 pawn. But Bishop C7 was crucial because I'm blocking his bishop from coming back and defending. He's trying to get through over here, but that's not going to happen. I'm too solid. Wow, he's going to take. Okay. So now he's not going to take back. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Give a check here, probably. Yeah, let's check. Just see what he does there. If this, I can take with the rook. So yeah, he doesn't do that. Now Rook C7 looks pretty darn good. He's going to push his A pawn. Do I take that guy first? No, I'm just going to take directly. A2 here, and my B pawn's ready to run. He's not in a position. He has to do something very time-consuming like this, and then Bishop C3 to promote, but my B pawn is running. So I think that's going to be game over. Yeah, he resigned. Okay, so we take the second game. Bishop C6 was crucial there. I think he probably regretted that Rook E6 move. So we got the trade of the rooks on C1. Like, this has good intentions. Like, obviously he would love to win this pawn. And again, I missed that move completely. I'm not going to lie and say that I saw that move. But after Bishop D8, suddenly his rook is very awkwardly placed. And along with it, his bishop. The bishop is prevented from coming back here. And after a couple, I mean, he's kind of stuck for the time being. So after a couple useful moves, yeah, this Bishop C6 move. I'm just trying to score a touchdown with the B pawn, basically. I thought for a second he could try this, and then Rook E8, looking to sack the exchange, and then play Bishop D7 and hold the pawn, but I can take this pawn first. It's crucial. I'm not in a hurry to queen here. And that should be winning. I don't think he can survive this. This is not fast enough. Okay, Belgian Novice, cheered 20 bits. He says, signing off, 4 o'clock in the morning over here, so in need of sleep, but confident to see you win the match tomorrow in the archives. Thanks, Belgian Novice. I'll do my best. Chess Bay, 1,000 bits. Says, well done again. Thank you, Chess Bay. Tinon, 123. Bishop C6 move was so nice. Party, party, party. Thanks, Tinon. Yeah, that's a fun one to play. And I think it is decisive. I don't really see how he can hold after that move. It's too much. I mean, suddenly his coordination is really, really lacking, and this is such a big pawn to pick off. Moras Motho said, John, why Bishop C6 instead of Bishop A6? I like Bishop C6 better because it cuts this way. If Bishop A6, he's got some of the same options he did in the game, but he also has this option. Take, take, and take. And again, I should probably win this, but looks a little harder. Probably still winning, though, yeah. All right, so now we go to the Blitz portion. Yeah, and by the way, I'm very interested to see that moment that I was talking about, where right after I played B4, I think if he would have moved the knight right here, specifically knight A7, and simply threatened to take, I was probably in some trouble here. I don't know if he looked at that or what he didn't like about it, but because if I lose this pawn, I'm almost certainly going to lose that pawn too, if he takes with the bishop. And the main problem is I can't offload this pawn because he has this. And this rook is stuck. All these squares are covered by his bishops. And I can't even take on d5 and try for some sort of compensation because he's got 2 attackers down here. Pac-Man, thank you for the subscription. Twitch Prime. All right, so we're on to... Let's update the score first. We're on to the Blitz. Five plus O. Challenge sent. Okay, let's go Scandi again. I got to concentrate more in this one because, you know, there's no increment, so time is obviously of the essence. I think he's going to repeat that first game. A large part of it, at least. He's going to castle first. Okay, so this is a little bit different. Aze, thanks for the 100 bits. And Olivia, thanks for the $50. She says, gotta head to bed. Good luck with the remaining games. Oh, yeah, that was a clear mouse slip. I'm going to offer him a take back. I actually don't know how to do that on here, though. I just typed it in the chat. Okay, I'm just going to offer him a draw, and we can restart this game. Because I don't know if we know how to do a take back, so... I guess the colors are going to switch, but it should be fine in the end. Yeah, we're going to get the same amount of colors, so... Alright. So let's just rematch him. Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, so you can watch it tomorrow. Thanks again for that donation. I think it was easiest just to restart that, given that neither of us really knew how to do the take back there. I'm going to go for the same line. Okay, so castle, we had this before. Ooh, so slight improvement, perhaps. There immediately. Alright, so let's do the same thing. And now I wonder if c4, if queen a3 is still good, or if I should try for something else. Okay, bishop f5. I think I should take here now. I'm going to do that. And then probably rook c1. Black has a center, but I know these positions are actually a little tricky for black to handle, or they can be. Black has to watch out for c4. The b7 pawn is always under attack. It's another Tory. Yep, another Tory. Okay, so e5 is played. h3 would be a normal move here. Yeah, let's do h3. Useful. Can always drop this bishop back. Plays a6. Okay, a6, can I take that? There's rook b8. Nothing going on. Or is there? He's getting ready for b5. I don't want to use all my time in this position, but I also want to have an idea of what to do. Knight f1 seems very passive, but I actually kind of like this move for some reason. Let's do it. So I'm threatening to win a pawn. Bishop e6, logical. Looking for discoveries. Okay. Maybe hide the queen back here now. I'm not sure. There's something that didn't work out so well there, that mini plan, but still definitely in the game, of course. Thinking of maybe that eventually. Okay, let's do this. And definitely attempt to play faster. Much faster. Cramped here, though. Thinking of those ideas. Maybe h6, therefore. Night before, I can just play the queen back, so I don't think that's a problem. Andras is definitely going to be out for blood this game. He knows he's down in the match. He knows he has to come back. I think I would play h6 if I were him. That just looks very useful. It moves another pawn, but yep, he does play it. So which way, if I take, which way is he going to take back? I don't know, but let's find out. Even though I don't have that square, I'm going to dare him to take this pawn. I don't think he will because of this. With the bishop likely getting trapped. Ooh, he does have knight b4 though. Yeah, knight b4, I just realized, is a problem now. Knight b4. Okay, let's hope that his knight gets kind of trapped. Take rook c2. But then he can just go right back. It doesn't help anything. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not good. Down a pawn. Still in the game, though. Threatening this. And bishop a2. Okay, so he brings that back. Now I think I should definitely play this. Followed by this. Maneuvering for counterplay. Try to get the knight into c5. We want knight c5. My bishop's kind of buried too, but okay, he can't get an f4. Can still make something happen here. Yeah, it's actually a little tricky. I think maybe he should have brought his queen this way so he can play bishop f8. But I should really stop talking so much. Ooh, I can take. Take and then queen a2 check. I think that's working. And then this pawn is weak. Might stage a comeback here, guys. Might be some problems with my queen hanging at the end, like knight d4, but I think he's always rang into checks. Like if take, queen check, queen e6, I take, knight d4 doesn't work because I just take, he takes with his knight, he has to, and then I take. Should be good. Seems good. So I'm scrapping and clawing my way to counterplay here. He's going for it. Taking on e4 seems straightforward and good. Or just bishop takes b5. Yeah, let's do bishop takes b5. Pick up another pawn, threaten the knight. This is still hanging. Seems very sketch for him. All right, let's take. Okay. Queen g5 is a attempt. Now I'm going to go to trade mode. Try to swap. There's probably no reason. Oh my gosh, there's no increment here. I forgot there's no increment. I totally forgot there's no increment, guys. Oh, man. It's 5+0, John. It's 5+0. Just go for it. Okay. Yeah, I was winning that position, but... Actually, did I have mate at the end? Yeah, I had mate in 1, queen f6, but doesn't matter. Must play faster. That's a rookie mistake, forgetting to adjust to the time control. We might repeat this same position that we had in the first game where he slipped. Like knight e4. So this sort of thing. This is all theory, by the way. And now trading is the line. Colonel Kurtz, he has a YouTube and a Twitch channel, Andras. So there's the updated score. I got to remember to do that. He's debating a lot on this queen trade, which is, it's not completely forced. He can try queen g4, but he has to sack a pawn. I think that's how the Vallejo pawns game went, actually. I had this against Jeffrey Zhang in an OTB game a few years ago. White's chances are connected with playing c4, but most of the time, White doesn't do that, in my experience. Okay, so he does that. Interesting. Let's develop. Let's see where he puts this bishop. g4 is pretty helpful in these structures. No doubt. Okay, let's play h5. Typical method. Kingside might become open, but I haven't committed my king. I can park it on d7 if I want. Let's bring this back. Okay, let's take. And I'm going to put the king here. He's thinking. About what? I'm not sure. And he could take here, but I don't actually think that matters a whole lot. He might try to do something down the F-file. Like, let's say take rook here. I think I should take with a pawn, keep this defended. I feel I'm solid, but, you know, some stuff to watch out for, especially I don't want a rook to come to F7. I might have to kick out a rook that gets to H7 in some cases. I mean, you could also consider this. You could try to open it up. Plays King D2. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Maybe looking for some Bishop F4 business in the future is what I'm thinking. Bishop F4 now would be a blunder. Loses a piece. King back to E8 I'm looking at. I could trade first on H1, Bishop F4, but I think Rook H7 is a bit of an issue. The end of that line. Knight B4 seems superficial. I think I mostly like Knight G6. Or Knight E7, rather. Trying to go to G6, so I'm going to do that. Always Beast, thanks for the 4 bits. Yes, I do lessons. Bird Potzer, thanks for the host. So once my knight gets to G6, it can try to plop itself here. Also, I take some sting out of C4. Maybe I'll just take that pawn and D5 hurts less. He's got a minute 30 only. We'll get this pre-move ready. I mean, you could definitely trade both pairs of rooks. So he clearly wants C4. You know what? I think with Knight H4 being a thing, I'm okay with that. So now Rook H4, perhaps? Well, let's take to start. I'm going to do this. Yeah. I'm looking at B5 here. Plays a symmetrical recapture. I think this ending should be about equal. I'm going to keep this on the board for now. I'm going to go Knight F4 next. We might have a draw. Yeah, I'm going to take his draw. It's opposite color bishops. Hard to make progress there. I maybe could have gone for the flag, but yeah, that looks pretty drawish. Although, in hindsight, I'm actually realizing now this is slightly awkward, but he has time to reposition his bishop. Yeah, he can always come back here, like park his king here, put his bishop on f3. It's a draw. Okay, so that's the 5-minute portion. He took that 1.5 to half. So, I'm leading by a point. Andras. OMG Andras. Thank you for the 100 bits. So let's challenge him to 3-minute now. Again, these last few games, they're going to go fast, and they're going to decide the match. I don't know what we're going to do in the case of a tiebreak, by the way. If there's a tie match. You know what I might do? I might, well, yeah, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to play this time. He pre-moved bishop g7. I don't know if he would have played d5 or anything, but now we're in a Pierce. A little bit different of an opening. Okay, let's play this. We'll just develop quietly, but I don't mind playing a Pierce. 3-minute now, so you got to play these games like bullet. That's the one major thing I've realized. You must treat them like bullet. Yeah, someone said I should have lafonged him, bishop h6, take on g7. That would have been pretty funny. Okay, so he's thinking. I like this. I like that he's thinking. Keep the pressure on. Just do it, John. Keep the pressure. Knight h6 is kind of weird. I think you might be angling for c5. Yeah. Could play e5 here. e5 is interesting. But now I'm going to go for this structure. He's going to put his knight back on c7, most likely. I feel comfortable playing this, and I played this before. Okay. All right, let's do this. Target this guy. If he takes, I'm taking with a pawn. He might play e5 and close it up. No, he doesn't. Okay. Okay, g4 maybe. Let's do g4. Kind of a risky move, but my point is he has to go back to c8 with the bishop, because otherwise this pawn hangs. So it's a little awkward for him. Knight d6 would be a real direct way to try to attack him. Queen d2 makes a great deal of sense. I don't want to fall too far behind on time, but I want to get this right here. Let's go here. So if h5, I'm going to play g5. I want this available. This is a 3-minute game, but I'm looking for a squeeze here. Stop b5. He's going to be looking for that. Now, do I go after his dark square bishop? First, let's play this. Standard move. And I think b3 would be appropriate. Weakens myself on this diagonal, but I'm not too worried about that. Like, knight e4 is not working for him yet. Let's pin him up. Ooh, there's a possible sack here. I don't think it works, though. Puts his bishop there. Okay. Bishop c4, maybe? Yeah, that looks good. Let's do that. See what he wants. Ay. Don't want to fall too far behind on the clock. We're going for the attack. I feel like his pieces are a little bottled up, so I'm going to try to play knight e4 and get in on his dark squares. Queen f4, ideas like that. f5 is critical here. Definitely. He plays it. Okay, let's actually take. I'm just going to challenge him to find a defense here. My king is weak, but he's got to defend somehow. And I hope I can swarm in. Keep the pressure on him. This is falling. It's not allowed to trade. He has a check on d4, but I think I have everything like nicely defended right now. He's suffering on the clock. Okay, go here. Yeah, he's down on time. It's too much. Just any old move's fine. Okay. Brutal. Yeah, I just started playing fast when I noticed that we were both drifting into time pressure to try to avoid what happened in that first game in the 5-minute portion. That's 3-0. We didn't get a result on the board, really. I do think that was promising for me. Probably not right at the end, but leading up to that, that looked pretty nice. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. Okay. Rematch. Here we go. Next game of the 3+0. And then we head to Bullet. I've been playing this all match. Let's keep doing it. Lots of Scandies in. Those of you who study my repertoire on Chessable, you're in luck. See if he goes for the castle queenside thing again. He does. He probably obtained a small edge in that last position, but again, it's not out of the range of what's normal in this opening, so I feel like I don't really have much of a reason to switch up my opening here. I think he feels most comfortable, or at least, I shouldn't say that, but I think he has more experience than me on the white side of a Sicilian. So, whoa, don't do that, John. I almost pre-moved that move. So, I'm just trying to avoid that while he's thinking about ways he can mix it up here. I can still take. Let's do it. And there's knight e4 and queen d5 still coming. I mean, if he burns a minute in the opening in a position we played already a couple times, I think that's worth it for me. So if he takes with the pawn, I'm going to do this. If he takes with the queen, I can play knight e4. Bishop takes d8, take here. And we're going to get an endgame bishop versus knight. Completely fine for me. Bird Potzer says knight fd7 would have been legendary. Yeah, it would have, actually. Okay, here, yeah, I've got some interesting options. Queen d5, obviously. And queen d5 is such a... I think the endgame is so nice for me, I'm just going to do it. But also, like, queen a5 or other things were possible there, too. Let's take this way. So I'm hoping that these are weaknesses. He's trying to get rid of them ASAP. Okay. OMG Andras, thanks for the 100 bits. Now, do I do this and go for that A pawn? It's looking very tempting. Rook d3, d3, I take. There. Nah, let's just develop. Okay, now I very well might go for it. Yeah, I can't say no to that. Specifically because I can circle back with this knight and go after his light square bishop. The Scandi way, bishops versus knights, we have the knights. Let's go here. Let's take. This looks solid. Just got to play faster now. Most important thing. Yeah, I've had these types of positions like so often in this opening. I'm ready to give him some problems coming up. I think this is okay. Maybe I should play h6 first. Is knight takes c3 possible? No. Okay, let's do this. There are some interesting possible tactics here, but I don't think they're working for him. Like when my king gets driven here, I gotta watch out for some stuff though, I admit. Okay. Just some maneuvering. I think I can do this. Knight a7 coming. He's got to speculate on something like c4 now. c4, I think I just moved my knight away, though. Like knight e7, maybe. Yeah, knight e7 should be solid. Then it can eventually come back here. Attack his weaknesses. Well, he's all bottled up. He's just going to run out of time. I think my position is borderline winning too, but he's going to run out of time here. Probably sack trying to get through, but it's not enough. All right. Yeah, I think I managed the clock well there. Got up a pawn early. It worked out well. So that was the second 3-0 game. So what's the score in the match? 4.5, 1.5? So with that, I win the match. Someone's saying knight takes b5? Was that possible? Yeah, you're right, it was. Knight takes b5, the pawn's pinned. But, you know, just trying to stay solid. I saw he was threatening my rook, so going for the time win at this point. Just not think for like 15 seconds. That's the worst thing I could do there. Chess Bay, thanks for the 200 bits. Oh, and OMG Andras said, John, there is a little crippled boy in the hospital who wants Andras to win. I know because I crippled him myself. Okay. Okay. We got the bullet portion. That's the only thing remaining in this match. So let me challenge him. Two games of bullet. Oh, is he done? Andras is not currently in live chess. Says he logged out. Maybe he'll be back. Hey, Testosterone. One of my favorite usernames on Twitch. He's trying to challenge me, because I just tried to challenge him, and it said he was out of live chess, but let me send it again. Yeah, I'm challenging him right now. I'll cancel it, and I'll challenge him again. 1 minute. Why is it not working? Refreshmychess.com. Okay. Let's try again. Yeah, that might have just been some server error. I don't know. There we go. Okay. So this is Bullet. I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe go for a direct attack, actually. Let's do that. This is interesting. Castles, h4, h5. The works. Let's do this. If he takes, I play queen d4. I think I've actually looked at this sort of thing before. Let's do this. So I'm going to take his knight once it pops out there. That's the whole point of that. He seems very slow. Why is he taking this long? Don't really know why he's playing so slow. While I'm going for an attack. I'm going right for his king. We're not even going to pause to try to save our bishop because there's no point in that. Big threat. And that's the queen. I don't know what happened there, why he thought for 10, 20 seconds. Oh, he said he forgot it was Bullet. Uh-huh. Well, maybe we'll play one more then, in that case. This line. This line is the bane of my existence, guys. I always talk about how this line gives me fits. E6 is probably good here. By the way, he's thinking again. Really? All right. Let's see what you got. This looks suicidal, but let's try it. It's Bullet. King just like parking itself. Maybe knight e4, I don't know. No, and it can start getting away, I guess. This might not be so bad. Let's take, and then I'm going to play queen d5. And try to trade queens somehow. Don't try this at home, guys. This is for professionals only. My king is actually pretty safe. It's nicely parked here, right, guys? Bishop f3, bishop e4, stuff like that. Just defend everything. Okay, now it looks time to retreat. Oh boy. Let's try to be solid. I'm gonna give up my queen because he has 11 seconds left. Ooh, he didn't take it. Interesting. He didn't want the queen. It seems like a potentially dubious decision not to take the queen. I'm up a piece here, aren't I? Okay, let's do this. And push. Ooh. Okay. We'll play one more. because he forgot it was Bullet. Beta 5150 cheered 100 bits. He says, as a beginner who's been binging your YouTube channel, great to catch a live stream. GG's. Thank you, Beta. Appreciate it. Oh, okay. We're just seeing if the match is going to go one more game or not. Danny Skierme 93 says, really instructional video, John. Thank you. Yeah, that game was pretty funny. He didn't take my queen on d5. I was up a substantial amount of time. But, you know, I actually think after king e6, it's not so easy for him to crack my position. It looks ridiculous, but I'm up a piece, and, you know, these pieces are protecting me for now. And I was thinking if he goes here, trying to threaten some sort of check, I can take and then just evacuate to the queen side and maybe keep it together. The onus is on him to do something there. Okay, Ecstatic Broccoli says, Andras says, you're way too kind, but that was me just being an idiot. He beat me fair and square. I'm just going to tell him GG's. Some intense games, especially the 15 plus 10. Yeah, those two 15 plus 10 games, I feel like the second one in particular could have gone either way. I feel very good about how I played the first one. With the extra pawn, I think I displayed good technique in that game. Ariel says, was that the Geller Gambit? Yes, it was. The dreaded Geller Gambit. Just a very good choice for Blitz and Bullet. You know, one instructive thing here, even though this is a bullet game, I think here, e6 is definitely the best move. That's a typical move you play to bottle up your opponent's development, like prevent... Because I would love to play pawn e6, right? I'd love to do that, get my bishop to e7, complete my development. So either e6 or maybe g4 first. You could play it that way too, and then e6. Either way, I'm going to have trouble coordinating. Thanks, Chess Babe. Andras is kicking his pet kangaroo. It's funny. Everyone gets a kangaroo from the government once they hit age 18 in Australia, right? Can any of you Aussies confirm? It's like how everyone gets a direwolf. Everyone gets a kangaroo in Australia. Thanks, Kirk B. 636 viewers. Wow, that's a lot of viewers. Chess Bay, are we on Chess TV right now? No, I'm not watching the Celtics versus Cavs game, but I should probably do that. Is it over yet? It's got to be late in the game. Check out ESPN. Ooh, there's 8 minutes left. Cavs are up by 8. I'm going to have to go watch that, guys. Oh, thanks, Chess Bay. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. This was a good stream. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let me just see and make sure I didn't miss any donations at the end. Yeah, Beta, again, thanks for the bits. Chess Bay, OMG Andras. Also, big shout out to Peter, Axiom Fox, for his $100 donation early in the stream. Really appreciate that, Peter. The Ben Franklin Gambit. I'm going to use that in the future. Also, Olivia Picot. Olivia Picot was the user who made that extremely generous, very large donation when I first started streaming on Twitch a few months ago. She donated $1 for every video that I've made. It was an over $1,300 USD donation. That was incredible. There were some also very generous donations after that. Again, this was a stream from a few months ago, but Olivia Picot donated $50 this stream. And thank you to everyone who donated, really. I mean, highlighting some of the bigger donations, but again, all the donations, subscriptions really means a lot, guys. So, yes, Olivia did almost make me cry that night. Thanks, Tinon. Thanks, Moramos. I'm going to sign out now. So, Chess Bay, tell me who to host. I don't know if I'll be streaming this weekend, guys. It is a holiday weekend here in the U.S., Memorial Day weekend. But possible I'll stream probably on Sunday or Monday if I get the chance, if I do stream at all. So have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy the summer if it's nice out in your neck of the woods. Remember to use sunscreen. Avoid sun cancer. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I'll see you guys again soon. All right. Bye. Thanks to Andras for the match. It was a good match. Check out Andras's Twitch and YouTube if you get a chance. He posts a lot of instructive videos. He's a chess coach himself. Later, guys.